we're supposed to be a contender, and we're giving these people on-the-job training.
I hear you. I mean, but I do believe that the Indians are going to keep they're going to keep trotting guys out there. I mean, they're going to give these guys a chance. I mean, I get you too, and my problem is having so many of them out there, but I don't believe it's by design. I mean, clearly you lost a couple of guys in a row here due to injury. You're hopefully getting Bourne back here, but even when you do,
Bourne will come back tomorrow.
Yeah, and he won't be every day. I don't think he's going to play I don't think he'll play every day the rest of the season. Probably he will be.
That I'm not sure of. I know he's going to DH tonight in Columbus, and then be back here tomorrow.
Oh yeah, he'll be back, but I do believe that he was going to get a day off every couple of days. I definitely believe that that's going to be the plan to keep him healthy the rest of the season and bring him along. Because as we've seen, they've rushed him back, or he's come back before he was ready, and it's popped back again. So I expect to see that. So I think you're going to see some, but a lot of these guys, and I'm with you because the Indians are right, and that's what's so frustrating to Tribe fans, is that the Indians are right there in the thick of things, and yet we're playing not necessarily playing for next year, but you are, because like you said, you've got these guys, and they're not. The best part is they got 3 rookies in there, and none of them's name is Lindor. Like, that's the best part, is some people are going. They're like,
now, that brings up 2 extra points, though. I mean, one is, how good is Terry Francona as a manager if he can work with kids and still keep us in it?
I'm going to say something that some of you might not like if you don't like Terry Francona, or if you don't like the Indians this season. But I've got to tell you that I think, to me, this season proves more about Terry Francona as a manager than last season did. And I know he's made some mistakes. He's made some mistakes this year, but he made some last year, too, that got covered up. And you don't have to. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody is perfect. But this season, for the Indians to be, we keep saying it's amazing that they're 500 when you look at how bad the pitching's been, and when you look at the defense, and when you look at Swisher and all of that. And I agree. And I think the reason is Terry Francona. I think he has definitely done a better managing job this year. Last year, things just kind of fell into place, and then the end of the season just kind of came together, and you can't recreate that. But I'm not saying that you don't give Francona some credit for that, but Francona didn't put the schedule at the end of the month together. He didn't get them on that run. I mean, that's just the way it worked out, and they took advantage, and they won 10 in a row, and they played their way in. But I think the managing job this year is better. You might not. Some of you don't. I know some people don't like him. I've gotten some fans this year that say,
just the way you're looking at it, though. I mean,
yeah,
he doesn't have. He doesn't have any defense. He barely has pitching. And
every time he turns for help, they go, "Hey, you could pitch Exford tonight," or "Hey, you could throw one of these rookies out there." Hey, and there's the other thing. I was joking about Lindor not being up. How about Aguilar? He can hit. Look at the stick, and I know he's down in the minors, but these are guys. If I was going to have guys up here, these are some of the bats, and I'm telling you, I'm on the Lindor train. Although I will admit, a lot of people calmed down because he got caught up too in AAA, and I think that's why the Indians were smart to do what they did, and I think it shows that because he started off hot and then AAA cooled him down a bit. So it's going to be an adjustment. Let him. I'm not worried about rushing him back. To be honest with you, if he comes up in September, that's great, but if not, that's fine because he does need to adjust to that AAA level. But
if you look at the standings, we're actually closer to winning the division than we are the last wild card spot.
We're 5.5 back in the division. Are we 6 back in the wild card now?
No, 5.5.
Oh, so we're equal. We're equal.
Right? Yeah, we're equal.
No, we're 5 back in the wild
everything's
card,
working out to be 500 here.
Actually,
it's
no.
like...
The Indians are 5 back. They're a half a game closer to the wild card, but it's semantics. They're 5.5 back in the division, and they're 5 back in the wild card. So what's funny to me is Detroit. I thought you were going to be able to end run around Detroit by going through the wild card. I'm like, okay, well, Detroit's going to win the division. Hell, now you got to beat Detroit no matter what. You got to beat Detroit one way or another.
Not only that, but Detroit got Price, and now they put two of their starters on the DL.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at Verlander. What was it, 1 inning that he went, the shortest of his career?
I told you that a couple weeks ago when he was.
Yeah. I know. It's because he's got the hot wife, and I get it.
Yeah, you start with with Kate Upton, and before you know it, the arm goes, the legs go, you're done.
I know, women weaken legs. That's what Mickey
right.
used to
First
say.
thing that goes.
Hey, Rocky.
Second thing I got on my mind is the attendance.
Oh yeah.
Now, I called the Indians yesterday because I didn't get an attendance figure for the first game.
For the first game, yeah.
Okay, and they said there was less than 1,000 people, so they usually don't post until at the end of the doubleheader. So
you gotta understand,
for the first game yesterday, there was under 1,000 people paid attendance.
Here's the thing, and I know that's a terrible number. Although I've had other people tell me that was not an accurate count either, because I saw Bleacher Report put that out there. But I had some people that were at the stadium yesterday told me that was not accurate. I mean, it was still a small number, but it wasn't under 1,000. But I mean, part of that I got to chalk up to the fact that. How many thousands of them were at the stadium the night before until 11:30 or midnight? I know a lot of them left, but they were there. It is a work day. It's a weekday. It's a 3 o'clock gates open, 4 o'clock game. I'm just saying, I think even if people changed plans to come down, they figure there's two, they'll catch the second game of the doubleheader. And there was a decent crowd for the second game. At least it looked that way.
Right.
The announced attendance was like 17,500 or something like that. But so there was.
Exactly 17,500.
Yeah. So, but I'm with you. But I think that's part of it. I mean, it is hard to change your plans last minute. And something else that a lot of people don't know, yesterday was for Cleveland schools the first day of school. So Cleveland schools were back in yesterday. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, what? I was like, I looked at the schedule. I said, you've got to be kidding me. Kids start school already, but so there's that part of it too. I'm just saying, I think that you got to take that for what it's worth, and obviously, I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think 17,000 showed up for the second game specifically. So, because they don't traditionally do nearly 18,000 on a Wednesday night. So
no, but the thing of it is that the plain dealer. I can't remember his name, the guy that writing the article, but he seems to be making a big deal out of this. I've been saying for 2 years about our attendance.
Well, I mean, that's we could all beat that drum forever. We know that there's problems with the attendance there, and I got to be honest though, it's the times that we're in is a lot of it. It's not the Dolans. It's not any of that. All those different reasons. When the Indians are leading baseball in TV ratings, I think they're top 5 in all of baseball in TV
right.
ratings.
We were number 3 last week when the ratings came out for all of Major League Baseball.
But, Bruce, what that says to me is that the audience is there. The Indians fan base is there, but they're not converting that into dollars. But, I mean... But how do you cut that down, though? I mean, do you stop showing home games? You can't do that. No, the NFL's going to lose that blackout policy soon. That is so outdated, and that is so out of the loop. I mean, I don't know. But doesn't that force the fan to actually go to the ballpark? I got to be honest with you. I don't think it does. I think that the ones that want to go are already going. Maybe if you took the Indians off TV, you might increase attendance by a couple thousand, but you're cutting off your nose to spite your face because you'll lose millions of fans who say, kiss my ass, if you're going to take the games off TV. So I'm just saying, I know your point, but I know a lot of fans that would instantly say, well, the hell with it. I don't care. I'll just watch something else. I know that sounds bad, but I'm just saying, I don't think you could give the fans that ultimatum and win. I think that you lose either way. I know the interest is there. And clearly, when the big games are here, when the playoff games would be here, as we saw last year, they'll draw. They'll pack the place. They'll sell it out. And the Indians, we kind of glossed over this with the changes to the stadium, but they're cutting out nearly 8,000 seats out of the stadium because they know those days are gone. They don't need a 42,000 person facility there. They can go to what's it going to be, 36 or whatever is going to be after that. But still, don't you expect like the team to ever get better and then fill the place again? I absolutely see that. That's a question too. But then again, you can charge for those last 7,000 tickets that you were charging, $10 bleacher seats or whatever, you can charge $10 standing room only. You know what I mean? And you can still sell 42,000 tickets even though you've only got 37,000 seats, if that makes sense. You could still easily just sell more standing room only, and then if you don't sell those extra tickets, you still fill the seats, you know, and plus that looks even more raucous anyway when you've got 7,000-8,000 people standing, you know, with no seats. It kind of makes it look like a hotter ticket, and I think that's part of the Indians' thought, is what you said. As the product continues to get better and as the Indians contend with less seats, it makes more demand for the tickets. You know what I mean? So then
exactly,
maybe then that premium pricing really kicks in for them. If they can get back to selling 25,000, 30,000 tickets a game, which I do believe is realistic. I've always told people that I thought when the Indians get back into being a World Series contender, that's where the attendance is going to level off for the season. They'll be around 30 or 30+ thousand. Well, guess what? The Indians figure that too, and that'll be a sold-out stadium. And so, you know, it's just that those changes reflect the economics. But I think if you look around baseball, you can see that problem. It's not just Cleveland. I mean, Tampa, say what you want.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they've got good fans, but that's a team that puts a winner on the field every season, and they draw worse than the Indians do. It's just, I think it's a product of the times more than anything else. I know it sucks, especially I know you're not a big football guy, but I mean they won. That's what I always tell people is I don't know how they did it, but the NFL won. They outmarketed baseball and they outmarketed basketball too. And
well, you got to realize that a lot of football is corporate, and those tickets aren't bought by the normal fan. They're bought by a corporation and given away.
Oh, I hear you on that, too. I hear you on that. And that's one of the places the Indians have lost ground the most that gets overlooked is with the corporate sponsorships. But what people forget when we talk about the 90s is they were the kings of the corporate boxes and the sponsorships and the big money because there were no Browns and the Cavs were just coming into downtown and starting to reestablish. So remember when Art Modell moved the Browns, literally the next day, everybody shifted their corporate money over to the Indians like clockwork, you know? So that's a big part of it too. And the Indians it's a new economy and it's a new day for baseball. And I think, like I said, across baseball, I think it's a problem that they're going to continue to have. And I know you get some towns like Detroit where you'll go, man, they're bankrupt and they can draw 40,000 fans to a game. I agree. I mean, but, you know, they also spend $250 million to put that team on the field, too. And I'm pretty sure that if the Indians had the 5-man rotation that Detroit had before these guys went on the DL, they'd sell a lot more tickets, too. That's part of it. But across
there was just an article in Forbes magazine that said that Cleveland couldn't survive without the Indians. Because Indians are the team that generates the most money to downtown.
It's per capita. You're right. People don't realize that the number of events is what makes that true. I don't know about Cleveland not surviving, but you are right because
they said that people that go to Browns games, they have their little parties before the game, and then they get back in their vehicles and go home.
Well, they tailgate. They do a lot of tailgating. But even if they do big business at the bars, it's one day, a couple of hours, everything's loaded, and by 7 o'clock Sunday night, downtown is a ghost town. And with the Indians, you do have 81 of those throughout the season. So even if each one is only bringing 10 to 20,000 fans downtown, that's 81 times that you're bringing those fans downtown to the Thirsty Parrot, to the Hairy Buffalo, to all of those places down there. So, I agree with that. The Indians provide more economy to downtown than people give credit for pure numbers, just because they play that many games.
That's right. And the front office still won't buy my idea of handing out cardboard cutouts to make it look like there's more people in the stands. But, other than that, So that's all I got for you, J-Rock.
All right. Great call, Bruce, as always. Thank you, my man.
You're welcome.
All right. We're going to take a break and keep the conversation going. We'll talk some Indians with my man, Mike Brandenberry from DidTheTribeWinLastNight.com. He's coming up next after the news. Don't go anywhere. Mike Brandenberry from DidTheTribeWinLastNight.com. Coming up next here on the Sports Fix.
I'm ready to play.